Okay, looking back on one of the highlights of my life was a big transition when I was 12, and we moved from Corpus and being 2 blocks away from Ursuline Academy to Lane Street and being across the street from Lamar, and I was so envious of those kids that just walk by every day, and I'd get in my car and have to be driven over to an all-girls school that I didn't know anyone other than the same girls I'd gone to school with my whole life. So it was a big transition when I begged my parents to let me move to Lamar, and it was the best move I've ever made. And I know you weren't really.
I was in private school too until through third grade, and then I started at Ryan's elementary school. And so many of the people that are coming to the reunion are people that I've known for a gazillion years. And just like you, I mean, I went away to college, and then I lived away. For a short time, I lived in Laredo.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I was living in New Jersey. I've been away for a long time. And this has just been a great opportunity to get back in contact and to see friends that I haven't seen in a million years. I mean, it's really special. People like you, Christie.
Well, that is true. Back in the day, I got married way too early at age 19, and luckily it worked out, and I'm very happily married, but I have lived all over the world and came back to Texas in 1990 and was so happy to find Loni again and find that our relationship, even though we had grown up, we'd raised children, we had lived all over the country and all over the world, that we came back together. And I don't know whether it was Laredo that drew us back together and found a common link, but it was such an easy friendship to rekindle.
So what was the atmosphere at Nixon? You were part of a new school, new traditions. What was it like going to school at Nixon?
Oh, it was fun. I just remember it being super busy. I mean, most of us, I think a lot of people, didn't just join one organization. There were so many extracurricular activities that, I just remember it being a whirlwind and a lot of fun.
And I remember, because there were so many organizations that were all brand new to everyone, there was a place for everybody to be in. One girl that I talked to regarding the reunion said, "You remember me? I was in Future Teachers." Or another said, "Oh, don't you remember? I was in the choir." And actually, I really did remember those people because of what part they played in these various organizations. But there really were places for everybody. There were places for everybody on athletics, in language school. There was just a place.
I remember just the excitement because it was a brand new school. I remember Meg Guerra and I were the first editors of the Pony Express, and we got to name it. So we dreamed up the name and worked on the masthead, and Meg was the one that came up with the Phony Express that came out April Fool every year. And there was just a sense of excitement because we were the first. And they're traditions that have lived on for 50 years. Pretty special.
Yeah. I do remember that the name of the yearbook was La Herradura, and thinking, number one, what is it? And number two, how do you pronounce it? So I am glad that they've switched to the W bar or whatever it's called now, but I do remember that.
Geez, it's still the Pony Express? I hope so.
Well, really, being at Martin was a wonderful experience. I met great friends and lifelong friends. But it was so large that when we moved over to Nixon, we all had a role. And I loved that.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Yeah.
Starting the new dance team that Mrs. Kramer put together was really special for all of us, too. It was so unique, the white cowboy hats and the boots and the gold. And I remember thinking, oh, my God, this is special. This is fantastic. The friendships I made in Golden Spurs, the things I learned as far as my schedule and controlling my schedule and being accountable to someone, not just a teacher, but also to my classmates and my team members. It was just, an experience that I can't believe. And you probably had the same thing with Honor
Right.
Society.
Well, the brass buttons.
And the
So
brass
I
buttons.
was president the second year, my senior year. But even when we started it as a junior, my mother was the one who went to our store and got fabric and made the prototype for the uniform, those little gold outfits with the
yeah.
pleated skirt. So it was fun because we were the trailblazers.
Yeah.
We were the ones who were the creative geniuses starting everything. So it was very special. And I think most kids feel that way about their high school experience. But when you're the first or the second class, it's extraordinary. It's a different experience. Yeah.
You develop leadership skills as the first that you might not have experienced if you've been at a school with 500 students. There's a role for almost everybody as a leader, and I think that was special.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I remember the parking lots. Oh my gosh, we had just learned to drive, and we'd drive up to that parking lot, and I just thought it was the most exciting thing to see who else was in the parking lot. The highlights of my life, parking lots.